All right, New York Giants fans, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment and sarcasm. I have to laugh. I did a post about how Pro Football Focus ranked the Giants draft an A last year, and then they took it down to a B after the full season. And I made a post saying, are people going to apologize because I said it was a B and I got blasted for it? And I guess a lot of people miss the sarcasm. So I'm letting people understand it was sarcasm, guys. I make fun of Pro Football Focus all the time and how they're useless. So why would I use that information to back or have the validity for one of my points? It's sarcasm. I got to stop with the sarcasm because some people just don't get it. But let's get into the Giants because it's going to be the start of OTAs. It's going to be interesting because the fact that it really is going to be how many players are going to show up. It's a voluntary workout. It's basically in what they refer to as Phase 3 from May 24th to June 18th. That's about a 4-week period. Players can come into the facility. The teams are allowed to have live contact. No live contact is permitted, but they can do 7-on-7 and 9-on-7 drills, and even 11-on-11 drills are permitted. But it's non-contact. Now the biggest question is how many of the Giants are going to show up the veteran-wise. Because if you remember back in April, the Giants released a statement saying, our team is strong, we united brotherhood of professionalism who love the game of football and work year-round to perfect our craft. We have to make the best decisions to protect our health and safety, which is why players on our team are exercising the CBA rights not to attend in-person voluntary workouts. We stand in solidarity with the players across the league who are making informed decisions with the help of our unions, both in the light of ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and what the data shows about the benefits to our overall health and safety. Okay, that basically came out April 14th. It said the Giants aren't going to attend. The Giants veterans aren't going to attend the OTAs. They're voluntary. I mean, it's not something I'm going to sit there and be like, oh, the Giants aren't showing up. Or if they do show up, it's not something I'm going to be like, oh, look, it shows solidarity. They showed up. It is what it is. It's a voluntary workout. Now, when we get into the mandatories and people don't start showing up, then I get more concerned. But really, like I said, the bigger question is how many of the 90 players that the Giants currently have under contract will take the field under the voluntary workouts. I'm just curious about that. Like I said, but I don't think it's a big issue. I think a lot of the rookies and I think guys that, undrafted free agents and people like that who are going to be fighting for jobs or their career on the roster during the summer are really going to it's going to be a disservice to them if they don't show up and participate. So I think a lot of those guys may show up, but I'm not expecting to see a lot of big names on the field. I'm not going to report a lot of it unless something happens in regards to like a large number of Giants showing up or something similar to that. But it's not a big deal. It's like I said, when we get into the mandatory camp and people don't show up, then I'll be more concerned. But like I said, I don't think it's sitting there I don't think it shows solidarity in regards to either way that they are not for the team or they were with the team. I think people read way too much into crap that's really not there. And I think a lot of times it's just so people have things to post on Twitter and shit. Because the fact it's just it's not even news. Like I said, when we get into the big camp, if people aren't there, then I'll be more concerned about Joe Judge and all that information. One of the other things that I kind of wanted to touch on a little bit or speak about is the tight end position. Now I know with the signing of Kyle Rudolph and Evan Engram, the issues that he had last year. The Giants' tight end position, I'm not going to say is in flux, but I just have this feeling, and I've said this before, I have this feeling that they're going to move on from Evan Engram potentially before the start of the season. And why I'm thinking about this is right now, I would say, he's coming off, of course, the Pro Bowl season. I think he has a minimum value right now, but I think if he goes into camp, they take the risk going into the season with Evan Engram if they're going to move on from him in after year 5. Because we picked up his 5th-year option. I doubt he's going to come back to the Giants either way. So I think it would just make sense to just move forward with him. And also we save the cap space. But I do find it interesting. I do think they may just kind of move on. And I would like to see them do it, like I said, sometime during training camp. or even after training camp. But not go into this. I don't want to go into the season with the whole Evan Engram thing. And signing Kelvin Benjamin. I love it because people blasted Tim Tebow for being signed from Jacksonville for being a tight end. We're basically doing the same thing with Kelvin Benjamin. He always looked like a tight end, though. He really did. He always looked like a tight end. But I'm not sitting there going, well, he's going to fill the tight end room. We also still have Caden Smith on the roster. We also have the 16-foot, 570-pound tight end. I always forget his name, Tola Olaf. I never know how to say his name the right way. But it's going to be an interesting position because honestly, and now that I'm thinking about it even more, if you move on from Engram, if you move on, it's a long day. If you move on from Engram, so Smith and Rudolph are going to be your guys. That's I don't know. I sway on this now. I really do. Engram, for all of his faults, I think it was 2 years ago in the Chicago game where I said that he's becoming a competent blocker, not a good blocker, but to me in that game he became a competent blocker. And he's always going to have those issues with the drops, and he's always going to drive you crazy. But then he's going to have moments of clarity where he plays extremely well. I don't know if there goes the music in again. I don't think that came in way too early. I don't know why that did, but we're going to take that out. Wouldn't be, like I said, I'm always Spinal Tap because he's got to 11 because I always have an issue in one of my shows. But I don't have the full confidence of Rudolph and Caden Smith manning the tight end position. I really don't now that I think about it. I mean, it's a quandary wrapped in a riddle because of the fact that if you move on from Evan Engram, you're relying on a 30-plus-year-old tight end with a foot issue. Caden Smith, who's been in the league now, 3-4 years, he really hasn't shown that much. He showed he's an okay blocker, and he showed that he can get you 6 yards. You get the big blocking tight end. I'm not feeling that. Kelvin Benjamin, I don't know if he can block. I don't know if he can play tight end. So I'm not going to sit there and worry about him either. You know what? Maybe during the middle of this video, I've changed my mind. Maybe I think we need to keep. Maybe I think we do need to keep Evan Engram for one more season and not trade him. I know you're going to lose the asset. Well, you don't really lose the assets. If he has a good season, you're going to get a compensatory pick if he signs elsewhere. But I do find, and now that I'm thinking about it, really, I don't have confidence with Smith and Rudolph for a full 17 weeks or 18 weeks. Wow. In midstream, I have changed my opinion in regards to trading Evan Engram. I've changed my mind now. I think we need to keep Evan Engram, and let's roll the dice on the season with him. Because of the fact that, again, if you remove him, you're taking away a weapon. You're taking away a weapon that could help open the field up for Kenny and Darius and Tony and Sterling. And even Dante Pettis at times. John Ross. No, I'm not even going to worry about John Ross. House of Glass, John Ross. I'm not. I'm not seeing that. But we still have Bachman and Mack and Dylan and everyone on the roster. So we got all the Victor Cruzes. But I think Evan Engram can create a mismatch and open up opportunities and less double coverage on someone like old Kenny G. Which then again will then in turn open up more opportunities for Darius, which hopefully then in turn will open up more opportunities for Sterling Shepard and Tony. So you know what? I'm gonna live with Evan one more year. This is the first for Online Big Blue. I've changed my opinion midstream. I want to keep Evan Engram for one more season. Let's see how it rolls out. Let's roll the dice on him. Yeah, I know we could potentially lose the compensatory pick. I mean, not lose the compensatory pick, but we could lose assets if we do trade him. Like I said, we will get a compensatory pick. And if he has a great season, that pick may be higher than what we would have gotten from him in a trade value anyways. So the juxt of today's show was, I like sarcasm. OTAs mean nothing when they're voluntary. And we should not trade Evan Engram. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could if you subscribe, you're going to play anything that means, that'd be awesome.